Welcome back, love. Today, we're going to step into a part of shadow work that so many people avoid. Not because they're weak, but because they've had to be strong for too long. This week is all about building emotional strength. But this kind of strength is very different from the one the world taught us. The armor, the overfunctioning, the pretending you're fine when you're falling apart inside. No. This week, we're talking about the kind of inner strength that comes from honesty, safety, and self connection. And today, I'm going to give you 3 shadow work prompts that reveal the things that you've been avoiding. Not to shame you, but to help you finally understand why you avoid them and how to find them with compassion instead of fear. Let's begin. So, what is emotional strength? Emotional strength is what happens after emotional safety. It's the result. Emotional strength looks like staying compassionate during conflict, being able to regulate without collapsing, making choices from truth instead of fear, holding boundaries, telling the truth with kindness, noticing your patterns without shaming yourself, and staying connected instead of shutting down. Emotional safety is the cocoon, and emotional strength is the butterfly. Safety comes first. So then, what is emotional safety? Emotional safety is the felt sense inside the body that allows you to exist as you are, doesn't punish your feelings. It's the felt sense that says, my truth will not destroy my connection. It doesn't have to perform or protect yourself to be accepted. It senses it's safe to stay present. It's not just a thought. It's not reassurance. There's no logic. Emotional safety is a body state. It's the moment your nervous system finally relaxes because it senses, I am safe to feel. I am safe to express. I am safe to be seen. When emotional safety is present, your breath softens, your shoulders drop, your mind slows, your inner child relaxes, your voice becomes truer, your heart opens slightly, your system doesn't brace for impact. But when emotional safety is absent, you shut down, you dissociate, you fawn, you numb out, you fake your feelings, you get small or quiet, you mask your real self. Your system gets loud inside. Emotional safety is the foundation of every healing journey. Nothing deep can open without it. Emotional safety has 4 layers. The first is physical safety. It's your body sensing when there's no threat, no danger, no punishment, no consequence for being honest. Without physical safety, emotional safety cannot exist. Next is nervous system safety. Your system is regulated enough to stay present, not in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. This is where your breathing, your heartbeat, your internal atmosphere begins to soften. Then there's emotional safety with the self. This is the deepest one. You can feel without shaming yourself. You can think something and not judge it. You can have a need without punishing it. You can have a reaction without denying it. This is what most adults never learned. And last is relational emotional safety. This is what the inner child always wanted. A space where you can tell the truth, where you won't be abandoned, where you won't be humiliated or punished, where your feelings matter, where your presence matters. And when no one gave you that, your body tried to survive without it. But now you're learning to give it to yourself. So, emotional safety sounds like take your time. I'm not going anywhere. I hear you. It's okay to feel like that. You're not too much. You don't have to be perfect. I'm here. You're allowed to be seen. These are the words that heal the inner child. Emotional safety is permission and presence. Emotional safety is so important because without it, you can't regulate, you can't self-reflect, you can't speak the truth, you can't stay in your body, and you can't trust love. You aren't able to heal memories, and you can't fully receive support because your inner child stays braced. So think of it like this. Emotional safety is the soil. Healing is the seed. The seed cannot grow and flourish without the soil. So the simplest definition of emotional safety is the experience of being allowed to be fully human without fear. When you have the emotional safety inside you, you don't collapse into shutdown, fawn, freeze, or spiral. You soften instead of disappear. You open instead of armor. You return instead of flee. And love, emotional safety is something you can learn, something you can build and practice and give to yourself every day. It doesn't require emotional strength. You don't need to be strong to feel safe. You just need to feel unthreatened. In fact, you can be trembling and fragile. You could be exhausted and overwhelmed, or grieving, and still experience emotional safety. Safety doesn't come from strength. Safety is permission born from grace. Safety comes from love found in presence. Emotional safety is required to build emotional strength. You don't need resilience or courage, confidence, stability, or clarity to experience emotional safety. You only need permission, softness, a regulated enough body, and a space, whether it be internal or external, where you're not punished for being human. Emotional strength grows because emotional safety exists. not the other way around. Now, why do we avoid certain shadows? First, let me say that avoidance isn't failure. Avoidance is protection. Your nervous system avoids what was really heavy to carry alone because maybe it was too overwhelming or too painful or too unsafe. At one point, as a child, you survived by not looking and avoiding. So, when a shadow feels sticky or foggy, if it feels resistant or heartbreaking, that's a sign you're not weak. Because when it happened, you were alone and you survived. Shadow work isn't about forcing yourself into confrontation. It's about creating enough safety for yourself to see what you couldn't see back then. With that, I introduce the 3 prompts to bring clarity, reveal pattern origins, show you why your avoidance is intelligent, and guide you back to emotional strength gently. Prompt 1. What part of me am I expecting to survive what should have been supported? I'm going to say that again, slowly. What part of me am I expecting to survive what should have been supported? This is the shadow of over-responsibility. When you were younger, you may have had to take care of others or stabilize the home. Maybe you had to swallow your pain and hide your emotions. Maybe you were expected to act older than you were. Maybe clean up messes that weren't yours. You became the strong one too early. So now your default question becomes, can I handle it? Instead of, should I even be carrying this? Ask yourself, where am I pushing myself to survive something I deserve support with? Where did I learn that asking for help isn't safe? And who taught me that needing support makes me a burden? This prompt reveals the shadow of self-neglect disguised as strength. This prompt reveals the shadow of self-neglect disguised as strength. Take your time with this one. It's tender. Okay. Here's the second prompt. What emotion do I judge myself the most for feeling? This is the shadow of emotional shame. There's always one emotion that your inner child learned was not okay. For some people, it's anger, sadness, fear. For others, it's jealousy, disappointment, longing, vulnerability. Whatever emotion you judge the most is usually the one that was punished or ignored the earliest. Ask yourself, whose voice do I hear when I judge that emotion? What happened the first time I felt it? And what did my nervous system learn about expressing it? This prompt reveals the emotional wound you've been avoiding because the cost of feeling it once was too high. But this week, we reclaim that emotion and return it to its rightful place inside you. And the third prompt: what does it cost me to stay strong in the way I currently define strength? This is the most confronting prompt and also the most liberating. We were taught that strength is not crying, being fine, pushing through, doing it alone, holding everything together, never needing anything, never showing weakness. But that kind of strength has a cost. Ask yourself, what do I lose when I stay strong like this? What part of me collapses when I carry too much? What would strength look like if it didn't require self-abandonment? What if softness is strength? What if honesty is strength? This prompt reveals the false strength that's been draining you and opens the door to building emotional strength that actually nourishes you. Now, here's a practice that will get you started in building emotional safety within. It's called the 2-minute return. Once a day, place a hand on your heart and ask, what am I feeling? Just one word. Keep it simple. What do I need? Do I need rest, water, space, reassurance, softness? And what is the smallest possible way I can give myself that? One breath, one pause, one step back, or one boundary. This is how emotional safety is created, not from strength, but through consistent and gentle return. If these prompts stirred anything inside you, if something tender came forward, or if you realized how long you've been carrying strength that was never meant to be carried alone, you're welcome to walk this week with support. My coaching sessions are open for shadow work, nervous system healing, and emotional restoration. I've also opened up space for sacred release sessions, where you release your burden without interruption, guidance, or questions. Afterwards, a downloadable personalized reflection and grounding technique or affirmation will be sent to you for you to listen to anytime you need. You don't have to be the strong one here, love. You get to be held too. If your heart feels called, I'm here. Until then, know that you are absolutely loved.